Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the 10K Challenge. We're just getting started here on Bravada on Thursday night. Um, Tables are spawning just a little bit slow, and as you guys will see here, it's a little crazy going on too. So we actually are dumping our ace-jack suited there. We're just going to keep our eye out on number 6. We've just got dealt into the blinds and just made it through them, and so don't have any read on him quite yet. And then down here, the player 5 and player 3, I can already tell is going to be the money makers at the table, so we're going to be a little bit more patient on them and kind of pick our spots. Definitely will be opening up with the 9-7 suited there, but we didn't really do much and they were betting crazy, so we definitely got out of the way of that. If you guys have not had a chance to check out the weekly update, there's some real good stuff in this weekly update. Go over a lot from Poker Stars and the full tilt purchase. Also, we have a new in this position right here. We'll get back to that weekly update in a second. I like to just probably flat call. I think this guy's trying to isolate to the bad players. And, we can raise and go ahead and probably take down the pot a bigger percentage time, but we want him to hang himself, especially on this flop. We're definitely not going away by much, and we're actually going to be inflating the pot here because we do have one pair, so we can hit another 6. Probably going to win on the hand. Plus, if we hit an ace, it's a good chance, unless they made the straight, and then, of course, any diamond that comes out, we'll pretty much have the nut unless they make the straight flush. So I do like just flatting there, disguising the hand just a little bit. Even though, if the guy's a real thinking player, but it looks like he's going to play too many hands, then you may want to kind of mix up how you're going to play those hands a lot with somebody who's going to be thinking all the time against you. And so you don't want to just say, turn your hand straight up. So down here, there's no reason for us to raise. Our hand plays very well in multi-way pots, so we're just going to flat call, see how it goes, and then we flop the open-ended. Thing is either one of these guys got a diamond, they're not going to go away in the hand, and they've been, and if 16 shoves on us, we'll probably end up calling that if 80 gets out of the way, and if 80 raises, we'll probably, bet there too, but there's just so many pots that we're able to pick up on, and I think our post-flop game is 100 times better than these two guys down here, so we can actually pick up the pot like we did there, knowing that we should be betting our draw than just sitting on it and trying to sucker them in. So again, we already thought out our plan. With player 5, we're going to go ahead and just get our money in against him. I don't think 80, even with a set there, he'd probably push a flush draw more than he would a set. And so, if that was the case, that's kind of the hand I'd put him on. But we'd probably just, if he raises, we'd call that, just see what the next card was. Because, there's just a lot of possibilities for us to win a big pot there against him. And up here in the top table, kind of self-explanatory, the pocket queens you're going to open with. And we're making it a little bit better, bigger sizing. Now, unfortunately here, okay, so here's the thing. I am not worried about player 6. If he ends up having aces, he's made this play 2 or 3 times. It's player 5. He's playing short stacked, and I hadn't really seen him really play a hand yet. So there's 2 hands that beat us, and then ace-king just has us a little bit. So we're actually, looks like unless a 9 comes, we're good there. So this guy I was not worried about. Player 6, if he actually had the strong hand, then that's great. And if he didn't, then, that's pretty much what his range is going to be. He might have had a king-queen type of hand, but her hand's still going to play very well in that instance. Player 5 here, he's out of position, so when he raises, he's already got his stack sizing already in the pot saying, hey, I'm going to play my hand no matter what. That's the reason we're going ahead and we raised, because he's playing a short stack kind of game there. When he makes that kind of bet, he's already committed his hand. Very rarely when you see them that short and they put in close to half their stack, they're not going to fold at that point. So here, when we're playing shorthanded, we are going to be opening up these hands. Even though this is guy, he's sitting there pretty good, but our hand's still going to play pretty well. Now, if we flopped a 10 here, we probably wouldn't bet it, and if we had the ace, we probably wouldn't bet it. So we're going to kind of rep that in the sense that we're just going to check to him, because if we had a 10, and if he bets here, what we'll probably do, because the diamonds are still there, and if we hit the king, it's probably pretty good. Now here, when we have the actual opening and draw, we're actually going to bet it, because we actually, we actually have 6 outs. So we got the min raise, which is pretty funny. And definitely we're calling that. Down here, this other guy. So, with the ace, we're going to go ahead and name our price, and about half pot's what we're going to price it at. So if he raises us, we definitely fold the hand, but again, we're naming the price that we think our hand's going to be good there at that percentage time. But if he has an ace, he can probably fold it pretty well, because we're playing our hand like, whoa, we got it strong, but we don't show you we have it strong. So again, we're playing this different between somebody else, because you're getting some of these other players who are the non-thinkers. Then you're going to play your hand pretty aggressive, because they're going to be betting. Sorry, I was reading this guy down here saying, "Are you mad, bro?" Not at all. But back to that hand. So if it's a player who's just crazy and loose, then we're actually going to rep that ace or 10 there by betting into them. And I've seen that pick up the pot more often than none when we don't have the hand. Plus, you always kind of sometimes, like against this guy, if I did flop that hand, I would bet, hoping he would do that little min raise kind of ordeal like he did. And then instead of flat calling, I would probably do like a little bit over 2.5 more blinds. I wouldn't just min raise him. That way he can maybe say, oh, well, he could be bluffing. He just don't want to put a lot of money in there at one time. And that's a way to beat the thinking player in this. So again, this player 5, maybe I give him too much credit for his style, but it doesn't make sense for how he just played out of position. And then he's a real dunk. He just bet $1 into the pot. So anytime there's a player 4 is a good player, he probably, if he has any equity in this hand, he probably should raise here. I would probably make it about 10. So you can still fold to the 20, but I think you're going to get fold out of these guys. But again, he's got to have some equity where if they do just flat call him, then he might be able to hit something that's overs or the draw of some sort there. So back to the weekly update. If you guys are getting a chance to check that out, it's real good this week. We actually got the featured article of the month. We had guest coach come on, Coach Dane from CoachYourMind.com, and he wrote a good article that relates to poker players and trying to keep motivated. So check that out. It's the featured article month, and it's, I believe, was called Mental Domination. So definitely a great read. And if you get a chance, check out his site. If you want just something to kind of pep you up for the day, get you motivated, just go to his site and click on it. You guys will not be disappointed in that one. Again, this, if you look at, when I first sat down, I thought the tables wasn't as good as they are. So it's just a little bit of patience. We've hit a few hands over here and been able to make some plays. So we've made our money there. And then right here, we really hadn't got anything to really kind of go after. We do got player 2 playing on the little bit tighter side. So, we're going to be a little bit more selective when he's actually in a hand. But player 3 is pretty loose. And we're going to look to 3-bet some hands here against him with his tighter range that he's been opening. So, unless he changes something here in just a second on, if we start seeing him play a little bit more hands. And again, down here, this is a 50-cent table, and you're going to see just stupid stuff where you're just spewing money from these people where they're just min raising and getting more money in. The good thing is any playable hand that we have, I like getting in because usually they won't raise. I mean, look, you get the min raise. So when they do raise, I was about to say raise or min raise, you don't have to worry about getting a lot. So when I do spike my hand very hard, I know that they might not be able to give up in their hands, and we're going to get paid off. So, and the thing is, we look at is everybody here's got a pretty good deep stack, and this guy betting $1.75. So hopefully player one just gets an idiot, and we got a backdoor draw, flush draw, and with backdoor straight draw, and we have top pair on the board right now. So we're definitely not going away in the hand. We're going to see how much heat player 5 puts on it. I mean, he could have a draw of some sort himself. He's probably got a jack, but again, if we maybe hit the 8, so there the guy min raises. So we're not going to call that. It's right now, if I had to say, put this guy on a hand, is he's made a set and he's just babying the set right now. So it'd be interesting to see if my read is right. But that's a lot of how people play a set, so we're going to see if he tries to get value here or not. No, he had jack 6, so he made 2 pair. Right? So he had a stronger hand. So when he makes that bet, it does mean he's stronger. I just want to I was hoping we would get to see showdown, and we did. He didn't have the set, but that's how usually they'll flat call on the flop and then do. And he's a weak player. This is just a weak line that he took. And then they'll do like a min raise or just a small raise there on the turn, which, he had a stronger hand there, but he actually, I don't think we can fold 50 cent with second pair here. So, we're not, after seeing him play a jack 6. It's pretty interesting. And again, right here, we're actually going to be betting just round half pot. So if he raises, we just definitely get out of the way. But we're just naming the price that we want to see with our second pair on the board. And they actually folded. So that's the other great thing about it, is you can actually pick up a pot to where, they just might be bluffing the whole time with air. And then we can actually maybe pick up that pot, and we just got cash. So we picked it up probably with the best hand, but who knows? I mean, I doubt he had an ace where he is calling, but he could have had a better kicker on a queen of some sort. And our table up here, it is just, player 3 is very loose, but player 1 and 2 are played on the tighter side, and then player 5 seems kind of tight, and then player 6 is loose. So I really don't, besides being right on the left-hand side of player 3, I don't like the positioning well. I'd prefer to have players 1 and basically setting where player 6 is. If I had to choose my seat, move player 6 down here to where I'm at. Player 5's okay. He don't seem to be going too aggressive. Seems like he's probably got his money from a hand, maybe 2 hands, and then he hasn't really played since then. So hopefully going to be breaking the $8,000 mark this week. That'd be a great accomplishment to hit the 80% mark this week. So I'm looking to try to at least get 3 sessions in. I still have 1 session from last week to edit out, but you guys will see that one before you see this one, so you'll kind of not notice it's not there, but still got 1 more session to do that. And the Say It Ain't So jackpot is climbing on up there. I'm not even counted how many this recording we've had that, but I'm pretty sure we've already punched a couple of bucks out just in that one. But again, it ends this Sunday, and we'll be giving that away on next Wednesday's weekly update, so you guys will have to tune in for that one. And as I mentioned in the weekly update, if you hadn't watched it, is for some reason it does not get to $100, which I'm pretty sure it's going to. I will make it $100 to give away, and of course there's going to be that 1 hour free coaching that goes along with it. So most definitely, if you guys have not qualified for the Say It Ain't So jackpot, definitely use those avenues by subscribing to the YouTube channel. putting comments in. Just got to be active in some form of fashion in the Blue Tiger Poker community, which is also on BlueTigerPoker.com, or follow us on Twitter. So it's very easy, very simple. Just a click of the button pretty much, and your name automatically gets put in the hat. Down here in this hand, we made a bigger opening because these guys are playing a lot of hands, which is player 3 and player 5. Now player 6 came along and just flatted us. So at this point, we have to look at hands that we would presume in his range. And so hands he's going to do it with his suited connectors, pocket pairs. So at this point, we're behind in the hand, if not just totally crushed by a set of some sort. So we're going to see if he bets out. And he's also going to play pocket nines, because if he hits the 6, he's going to play that same. He's going to play a heart draw and a straight draw pretty hard, I would assume. And that's how the line I would take, especially against player 5. Player 5 is giving up right here, or if he calls this street, he's definitely calling a river. And if he calls and doesn't do anything, he's probably putting him on the hard draw. But I would really assume that player 6 flopped that pretty hard. He's either got 2 pair set, or he's got like pocket 10s or something like that, and is trying to keep him from outdrawing him in that instance. Now, if he was not been in the hand, I would have probably took those same line with my pocket, my ace king, as he took. Just trying to rep the bigger hand, because I know on that board there's not too many hands that he can take a lot of pressure from. And even though that's in his calling range, player 5 seems to be very timid after a flop. So even if he did have a pair or something like that, like if he was playing Jack 8 or 10-8, he may give that up. Or, if he's got some type of pocket pair on that board, he may give it up too. It just seems like somebody we can put pressure on that's going to just fold out his hand sometimes. And, and if the heart comes, and then being in the position I was, he was out of position we were in. If he checked us on the river when that last heart comes, it's definitely a good spot for us to take another stab at it, like 3/4 pot or something like that kind of bet. So here, we're not going to do much. This guy's calling us down. We have to go a little bit tighter than this. If I had like queen 9 or something like that, I'd definitely probably play him. Not that we couldn't outplay him post flop, but it's just I don't want it to burn money on somebody who doesn't fold and has been a calling station so far. Up here, it looks like we're just sucking on this one table. We've timed out a few times just from talking on the other table's hands. But there again, we haven't really, I think the A10 type hand, the A6 of diamonds was the best hand we had there. But just not much we can, been going on. Again, player 6 is setting so short, so our hand range to call him is going to be tighter. And then player 2 seems to be a little bit more active than I thought at first, but player 3 seems to be the one that we're hoping to maybe extract some money out of. There's the famous hand from the other night. If you guys have watched the episode, I think 15, the 7-4 diamonds guy. That was a fun hand. Definitely go back and watch how not to play 7-4 when you're just having pressure put on you. And basically calling all the way down because you hit a 7. Here, actually, we're not, because we're bored. It's a decent hand, so if player 6 decides he wants to come in, then he can. And any time that player 5 might decide to 3-bet us, unless we got a strong hand, we're going to get away from it. And then again, if player 1 does, player 2, there's going to be some hands that we'll call with, but again, I think they're going to guess because we've just been fold. We're going to get a little bit more respect out of player 1 and 2 and 5. Unfortunately, player 3 has left the table, so hopefully a new person will sit down and be a good one. So we got pocket. Listen to me. I can't even talk or tell what I'm actually seeing on the screen. We got Jack 10 of diamonds up here on the top table, and again, we have a lot of loose people at this table, so definitely even though we're out of position, it will probably be a hand that we are going to call with. So again, he's been opening at 3. It's a good thing because when he does, he's opening up on the larger side, player 2. So when we 3-bet here, we're probably going to get it. And probably if he ends up raising us for as many times as he's opened, and we're definitely going to be raising. So he actually made it 2. So you can kind of see. And then we're out of position, and this guy limped and then raised us. Now the thing is, he's setting shorts. So, but the thing is, we're calling 6 to win 16 now. So we're actually going to see the flop because we're in position. Now, I'd like to see a diamond on this flop. Now here's the thing. We're going to bet here, and if he raises, because our hand has a few overs to come. If he raises here, it's pretty much telling us that he actually has like pocket aces or kings or queens. So, and that's what he did. So, I mean, we could have said otherwise, where we could have just checked and see if we picked up 2 pairs, something like that. But I don't think we're going to call this, just because the way the hand went down pre-flop. He limped and then raised. And usually what that means is he's got aces or kings. So, we're just not going to get our money in there on that type of hand. It's just things that you guys are going to have to pick up on. And again, we got the nut flush here, so we're definitely going to raise and get these guys, see if somebody else has a flush. And we're going to flat here with our jack 10. So we narrowed it down. We got one guy out. He bets 8. Don't really understand that. You're going to flat call and then bet 8. So the good thing is he's deep stacked. We're definitely going to call. And we whiffed, so we're pretty much done with the board. There's a boat on board and all that, so it'd be going to be very interesting if the other guy. But when he bets 8 there, because player 3 has called to the river every time on every hand he's been involved in. We knew we were going to get some extra incentive in this hand to go ahead and call that bet too. And then I think that player 1 would probably pay us off if we did hit it on the spade, because it sounded to me like he probably had an ace in the hole or something like that. So when he had the aces with the jacks or something like that, he probably would end up making the call, because he would think, especially if he had like a king or a queen kicker, he's going to probably make that call because he's thinking his kicker's good and then we might be betting an ace and he's not going to fold on that board. Okay, we got us another hand that we can pretty much limp with here, and don't want to raise it. This guy's playing pretty tight. We have position. I think that's going to be key, and I'm looking to probably get player 2 and 3 to come in with us. So we're definitely going to call and see if we can win us a big pot here with our 9-7 of clubs. So we got a pair and a backdoor flush draw. So we're probably going to peel another one off. The ace also makes it an inviting for him if he's going to double barrel on us. He could be double barreling with pocket pairs and things like that. And if we pick up 2 pair, and here if he bets kind of small, we'll probably raise. And he didn't bet at all, so we're definitely going to bet. We're going to bet about half pot, looking to try to... It's a bet that we were trying to make him seem like we want him to call it. And it's pretty much telling him, I'm trying to rep the ace there, and that's what we did. Because, again, if he has pocket 10s or pocket 9s, he's going to actually continue with those at that time. I mean, it's unlikely he has pocket 9 since we had 9-7, but still there yet, Just picking up pots where we floated the guy in a sense because we had a backdoor draw. We actually had equity in the hand, but we also had the ability to pick that pot up also. All right, guys. Well, we're probably going to call it quits. We're getting around the 25-minute mark for this week and this episode of the 10K Challenge. So till next time, good luck at the table.